Does your vision for business match what you see happening on a daily basis? Welcome to Jim White's Circle of Success show, where Jim White brings it all together. For over 30 years, Jim White has worked with organizations and individuals worldwide to help develop and implement excellence. You'll get the inside story on how to create innovative leaders from one corner of your company to the other. Get everyone on your team contributing to the bottom line. Keep building revenue, even when the economy and your customers have flatlined, and more. Jim White's Circle of Success show covers it all, from communication to contract negotiation, from personal fulfillment to revving up cash flow. It's not about theories, it's about showing what works and how to make it work for you. And now, here's your host, Jim White.
Thank you, David, and welcome to the show, everyone. Today we have, returning for the second time, Ryan Hambley and Ben Holber, which are the winners of the Venture Play category in the Monterey Regional Business Plan Competition. And the chair of the competition, Susan Barrett, is going to be here to present them with a big check. So we're going to do that in the first segment. Then we're going to address and give more information on the CEO Summit. We've been getting a lot of emails from around the world asking what it is and what it is not. So we're going to probably 2-3 segments on that. And then we're going to wrap up the show today talking about the G8, Facebook, and other breaking news nationally and internationally. So we'll be right back after this message.
The current business climate is becoming more and more complex. CEOs on the cutting edge know they must explore strategies to understand and command the marketplace. The first annual JLW CEO Summit, Strategies for a Complex Business World, will enable CEOs and business leaders to explore strategies applicable to an ever-increasing complex environment. A unique opportunity to become educated in complexity theories and inspired to turn those theories into real business strategies with a focus on earnings, market share, and brand improvement. A powerful format that is a blend of the World Economic Forum, the Clinton Initiative, and TED Talk. Hosted by best-selling author and world-recognized management consultant Jim White, Ph.D. Along with many specialized business authorities, you will explore strategies for a complex world. The much-anticipated JLW CEO Summit, Strategies for a Complex Business World, will be held in the beautiful Hayes Mansion in San Jose, California, September 25th and 26th. Visit us online at jlwceosummit.com.
Thank you. We're back. Susan Barrett.
Hi. Thanks for having us on the show again.
I tell you what, you guys are just taking up all the airtime. That's a good thing.
It's wonderful.
And we're back today because you have 2 big checks to give these young men.
I do. So the cash prize for the grand prize winner for the Venture Play track is $18,000. And that was supplied by donations from different partners and contributors to the competition, including Project 17 International, Project 17 Agricultural Innovation Cluster, Driscoll's, and others. So I have a $9,000 check for each of you, because that adds up to 18.
It does.
Okay, so...
And that's a true partnership to begin with. You see, you got 2 separate checks.
Well,
one check right there.
I said to Alan this morning, are we giving them 1 check for $18,000 or 2 checks for... He says, no, they each get a check for $9,000.
Got it.
So, Ryan, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Ben, congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Susan. Really awesome.
Ben, my congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much, Doctor. Thank you, Jim.
Congratulations. You guys have been busy since you're on the show, and this is the first step. In addition to the cash, you get a whole slew of other great prizes that's going to help you move forward, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're talking with DLA Piper and Curtis Moe is the partner that we're speaking to tomorrow. We got an email today from Tom Armstrong from Berliner Cohen, I think. And they're just 2 examples of a ton of the services that we've had that we're going to continually try to leverage to actually make this a success.
And you will.
So we also have we've also been talking to people who didn't make donations, but we met through this competition, which has also been great. We've been meeting with Mark Peterson tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's been another great thing. It's just the connections that we've gotten from this competition.
the networking and the connections.
Yeah,
And Mark
exactly.
Peterson is Peterson Communications of Carmel, and he works very closely with us on developing the business plan competition, and he works real hard on it.
Definitely. And
He's a great guy.
His wife is, I think, the incoming alumni relations chair for Stevenson.
Okay, great.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So like he took a picture of us and put us, put our picture on the Stevenson Facebook page.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I think Stevenson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think Stevenson should have you guys all over the place.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
because really promote, and it speaks volume for the education from Stevenson and the networking, and so your parents are pretty proud too, right?
Yeah, they are.
Definitely. It feels good to come home with a check.
Yeah.
As opposed to, them always
Are they going to say part of that's for rent, or are they going to let you?
That's the first thing my mom said. It was funny.
Yeah.
Where's my check, Ben?
Well, as Sam Farr said, we're passing the business community on to the next generation, and we're just proud as heck of you guys. So
Yeah, and I know
you're the right age.
Yeah, at the right age, and we're in good hands with you two young men. So
Thank
Ryan,
you.
again, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
And
Thanks again, Susan.
Congratulations, you guys.
Thank
we'll
you so
be
much.
right back after this message.
This segment is brought to you by Circle of Success, a dynamic, year-long intensive management and leadership development process designed to help individuals and organizations reach their goals quickly. A customized process addressing specific needs and identifying the critical opportunities particular to the individual and organization, with results measured in increased revenue, increased net profits, and increased equity. The Circle of Success, inspiring excellence in people. At jlwhiteinternational.com/circles.
We're back. I tell you what two wonderful young
I
men.
know. It's really wonderful. By the time you were their age, though, you'd already bought and sold several companies.
I have, and that's what's so exciting about this. I mean, you see the passion, and you see the excitement.
Competence. They're so
Yeah,
competent.
they're so competent.
Yeah, they really are.
And confident. Why don't we take a few minutes and for the sponsors, and let me pull it up on the screen so we can. The sponsors do so much
Yep.
for this,
Yep.
and we just want to acknowledge again. And so, why don't you walk us through this? We don't want to miss anybody, so I just want to say thank you to everybody out
Well,
there.
thank you for that opportunity, Jim. That's very gracious of you. I have to say that we were talking about down in the bottom you see Berliner Cohen, which is the firm that Brian mentioned in San Jose that Tom Armstrong is working with now. And Tom has always been great with us, not only supporting the business plan competition, but also he comes in once a month to the business incubator in Marina and just has open hours for clients, and that's been just wonderful for people. So thank you, Tom. Arroyo Seco Vineyards, last time we were on I said Ryan Zaninovich, and it's Andrew Zaninovich, has been very generous in donating wonderful wines to our reception that we have at the end of the competition. Project 17 is our agricultural technology cluster that Barrich Business Services has, and we donated, I think, $30,000 to the in cash this year. So to the competition. Monterey Institute of International Studies is always very generous and gracious. I'm saying all those words all over the place, but they are with their space.
Right.
Dr. Ernie Skalberg has worked hard with us on developing the program, the competition program. Driscoll's came in this year as a new sponsor, and we were thrilled to have the agricultural industry looking at the competition, and they actually had a person on one of the panels who was able to look at some of the agricultural technologies that were competing. Tech Media does all of our film, our videography for the competition, and that is a client in the Marina Technology Cluster, Marlene and James Kruger, whom I believe you know. Communications for Good is Sandy Skis up in Santa Cruz, and that's her communications company. California State University at Monterey Bay, Brad Barbeau and Eric Tao, both have worked with us on the fever pitch, and Brad has worked with us all 3 years in just producing this.
That fever pitch, last time we had him on the show, Ben and Ryan was talking about how important that was. To be able to master that, right?
Yeah. Well, it was important all the way around, and it helped us. It gave us a new elimination process that was much more efficient than the elimination process that we had before, which was just sending a bunch of applications off to groups of judges and letting them give them number scores. I think we were losing a lot of good people that way. And so this way, when you actually get up in front of a panel and show them your personality, show them your enthusiasm, show them your competency, like Ryan and Ben did.
Right.
Yeah, like they said, they filled out their application in 40 minutes, so I'm not sure it would have passed muster. Okay, so this is the way we were losing really good companies.
Right.
But if we go back to that
slide,
that slide, which is the back page of our program, what is that? CCIS.
Where?
Central Coast Information Systems was a sponsor for us this year. Then right in the middle we have JLW, Inspiring Excellence, JL White International.
Right.
We've got Human Resources, HR Services, the one on the right, the puzzles from Santa Cruz. Thank you very much.
Right.
And then, as Ben mentioned, DLA Piper and Curtis Moe have supported us for a couple of years now. Curtis spoke last year. He wasn't able to attend this year, but he was able to give us a nice rundown last year on the nature of technology.
Goodwill.
Well, yep, that's Michael Paul. At the Goodwill, and they support us for creation of jobs and new companies. Business Logistics out of Santa Cruz. Thank you. Marina Technology Cluster, IP Society is Pat Riley.
Right.
Good Times in Santa Cruz. Thank you so much for giving us some support there for the winter. Business and Entrepreneurship Center at Cabrillo College. That's Teresa Tomei's campus, and Alex Kramer is in charge of that program. Entrepreneur Law out of Next Space in Santa Cruz. I think you met Ian when we were there.
What a great concept.
Yeah, and then Next Space itself with Jeremy Neuner and Ryan Coonerty.
Right. I don't think we left anyone off, did we?
Well, probably.
Yeah, if we did, our apologies, but nonetheless, we tried to get everybody in there. You know, and it's a great opportunity to be able to share with our audience worldwide of what small businesses are doing in education and doing to what the politicians are talking about, create jobs. So this is the first step of that for us, this business planning competition.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see where it goes for all these different companies, not only from the winners, but from everybody that was involved in the process.
Right. And I think that... Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just want to, before we got to take a break here, but also Monterey County Weekly. They are a big supporter. The publisher,
Eric Cushman is on the panel.
He's on the panel.
The committee that does this.
Right. And you and I had the pleasure of visiting with Eric at his place a few days ago.
On Friday, yeah.
On Friday, and he was sharing that the Monterey County Weekly won a very prestigious award, and I got a press release here, and it's the General Excellence, which is the most prestigious award in the Weekly. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Eric, and everybody at the Weekly.
Yeah, everybody at the Weekly. So I just wanted to make sure we got that in.
Thank you.
And it's always a pleasure. We're going to have you back on in our last segment, right?
Okay, what fun.
Okay.
I'll go knit till then.
Okay, fine. Okay. We'll be back after this message.
The old world is gone. The new world is full of change, and change seems to just happen unexpectedly and with a resounding impact. Like a collapsing pile of sand. Businesses collapse without warning because the world is complex, and so is your business. Business complexity is Darwinian and evolutionary and complex. We must adapt. We must understand. Only the tough survive. Kodak disrupted photography when George Eastman introduced film in a roll, preloaded in the Kodak camera, in 1883. Kodak introduced the first commercially successful color film, Kodachrome, in 1935, and followed up with the invention of the first digital camera in 1975. Then the multi-billion-dollar company hit a wall. Kodak is no longer its former self. Why? Apple Computer is the most successful company in history. It may become the first company to reach a market cap of $1 trillion. What does Apple management know that the rest of us don't? Will Apple still dominate in 2020? Kodak's Black Swan sunk the company in 2011. Is there a black swan in Apple's future? Is there a black swan in your future? Business complexity is about the innovator's dilemma, the paradox of enrichment, and the board. Join us on September 25th and 26th, 2012 at the beautiful Hayes Mansion in San Jose, California. Hosted by best-selling author and world-recognized management consultant Jim White. We will teach you how to use business complexity as a strategy in your business. Doing so will improve your revenue, earnings, equity, and brand. Don't become a black swan. Learn more and register at www.jlwceosummit.com.
Thank you, David. We're back. As I said at the top of the show, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to spend 3 segments, if you will, explaining more about the CEO Summit in September. We have received just an overwhelming amount of email traffic from around the world asking about what makes this so different. What is it? So, like I said, we're gonna drill down on that today and see if we can bring it all together for you. So we're gonna go through some PowerPoints, the old PowerPoint here, but I think it's important to put it on the screen so you can set and resonate with and follow along as I outline what this CEO Summit is going to look like. So the first element is going to be this one. Get this on the screen. Thank you, Dave. Okay. For our regular viewers, you know that we've done a lot of programs on leadership, organizational development, accountability, communication, planning, financial fitness, and the likes. And everything starts with a very clear vision, not only for your organization, but as an individual. Without a clear vision, there's not a roadmap. So that's the same with our summit. And as you see, the vision for the summit is, simplified is we want to be valued by the participants, the employees, the vendors, and respected by our competitors and recognized as the leader, world leader in this mid-cap market. Now, so that's the vision. The mission, what is it we're going to do and what's going to make this summit different than any other summit? Well, the mission of the summit is to, and the words are important here, is to inspire and educate. And I say mid-market companies. Mid-market companies, leaders on complexity, innovation, organization, leadership, cybersecurity, and financial theories. And how, the key is how to turn these strategies into real business tools that will focus on earnings, market share, your reputation, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, reputation and brand management, okay? Now, as anything that we do in an organization, we've got to have a set of values. And believe it or not, these values are the tools, and it's your guiding principles that keeps us between the lines, and you've heard me say that many times. These guiding principles are so critical. And for example, I'm just going to hit on a couple of them. And we say conducting our business and personal lives with uncompromising integrity. Well, I know, based on 40 years of experience working in 42 different countries, that the values that you hold kind of gives us a center of understanding. Now, it's my belief that we have somewhat got away from the value, so we're going to be drilling down on the value base of that at the two-day summit as well. Now, let's take a look at the other things that we have. Now, what are the opportunities? And you're probably saying right now, Jim, okay, where we're going, so bear with me. You've seen the vision of the summit, the mission of the summit, and the values that we hold as we develop and honor the summit. And this presentation is going to be available at jlwcos.tv as well, so you can download it. Now, what is the opportunity, and what are we focusing on? The opportunity is this. They are 1 billion people around the world due to join the middle class by 2020. I repeat, 1 billion people globally that is going to join the middle class by 2020. There are also 1.7 billion people around the globe with no electricity. These are growth opportunities for American businesses. These are growth opportunities for American businesses, okay? Now, let's take a look at other opportunities that we have. Now, these are big. Well, we're going to be hearing about these numbers in days and weeks to come, leading up to electing a new leader in the United States in November of 2012, right? So we're going to take a look at that. Now, another opportunity that we have is that we got 12.5 million people unemployed in the United States. 12.5 million people. Now, keep in mind, we're leading up as to what this summit is and is not, and how it's really going to affect middle market companies. Now, the estimated population in the United States is 312 million and 312,804,187, according to research that we did this morning. Well, that equates to over $50,000 of debt per person. Now, the national debt in the United States is increasing, or has been increasing, by $3.96 billion per day since September the 28th, 2007. Big deal. Now, on the show a couple weeks ago, I was talking about the Fortune 500 and talking about how the Fortune 500 companies have really created a tremendous amount of cash and record earnings. However, we have a missing group, and that's in the middle. And what we're going to focus on in the summit is those companies from 50 million to 500 million in revenue, to help them to continue to grow and to create jobs. And we got to get a break in. When we come back, we're going to drill down on that further and show you exactly how the summit's going to lay out. So we'll be right back after this message.
This segment is brought to you by 12 O'Clock High Leadership and Management Summit. 12 O'Clock High is one of the undisputed best movie classics of all time. It is also one of the best business learning tools available. The movie rated #1 by top executives for its influence on their management styles. Now, the inspiration of the 12 O'Clock High Leadership and Management Summit, an innovative one-day event and 30-day follow-up where you will quickly see what's working and not working on the front lines of your company and in your own leadership style. Learn more at 12high.com. That's 12high.com.
Okay, we're back. Thank you, Dave. Let's take a look at the continuing opportunities, and this is what we're laying out is opportunities for mid-market companies to be able to increase your revenue, your equity, your market share, and your cash flow. That's our focus. We're not going to invite the Fortune 500 companies to this summit, and it will become clear as we continue to drill down on how we're going to do the summit as we go through this, this review. Now, what you see on the screen right now is absolutely critical. Opportunity. Every business leader, regardless of the size of the company, has to face it. It's a reality. You cannot fight it. It's a reality. Or you can fight it, but it's not going to work in your favor. The global trend is unyielding and is not going away. We are a global economy. I'm going to repeat that. We are a global economy. Now, the challenge that we have for a lot of these mid-market companies is entry into those markets. That's some of the things that we'll be presenting at the summit, okay? Now, it's also clear in my mind, based on all of my years of experience, a good American company, and how do we define a good American company? It's clear vision, execution, accountability, not being a victim, and all of these things. A good American company business can compete, and I just chose China, for example, because there's ongoing debate about where American companies can compete in China or not. Well, we can. We can. And I believe that to my core because I have competed in some of the most difficult world markets there is. Okay? Now, our cost, our products are pretty good across the board. I'm talking about American products and services, right? Now, we may not get it perfect every time. We do not always get it right every time. But one thing that we do, we keep trying until we master. Now, emerging markets, if you follow the emerging markets, it's amazing where they're leading us, something new every day. But you know what? In order to be able to compete, in order to continue to grab market share, you've got to be doing things differently. You've got to put different strategies, and this is some of the tools that we're going to give you at the summit, right? Now, let's take a look at how. Okay. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. Let's take a look at how. Okay? Now, this is how. We are in a process, my staff and I, we're hand selecting up to 100 CEOs from this range, 50 million to 500 million. This is an invitation only. Like I said, hand selected. And the participants must meet these criteria. Yes, there is an investment for this, and we'll talk about that. But that's secondary. No amount of money can get you in the door unless you are committed to what? Committed to excellence for your organization, your vendors, and all your stakeholders. That's a must. Unless you can convince us of that, you're not invited. Second, you must have a desire to move to a higher level of earnings and create global jobs. It is my belief that if we look at it from a global perspective, because it is global, we will increase the communication and the relationships. During the Cold War era, we approach things differently. Today, we've got to come together as one group. Now, a lot of you may be saying, Jim, well, that's pretty naive on your part. Well, it may be, but I believe it. And if we start doing these things and we continue to do it and we do it well, we will make an impact. And that is my commitment and my staff's commitment and all my faculty. Now, the third thing that you must have for this CEO is to make sure that you arrive with an open mind, you're willing to be held accountable, and you're coachable, right? Some of the criteria for being involved. Now, if you don't meet that, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to come together and contribute as a team, right? You're not going to be able to come together and contribute, okay? Now, we got to get another break in. We come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the process. I'm going to introduce you to some of our confirmed faculty, and we'll just do a wrap-up and tell you how you can get more information. So we'll be right back after this message.
The current business climate is becoming more and more complex. CEOs on the cutting edge know they must explore strategies to understand and command the marketplace. The first annual JLW CEO Summit, Strategies for a Complex Business World, will enable CEOs and business leaders to explore strategies applicable to an ever-increasing complex environment. A unique opportunity to become educated in complexity theories and inspired to turn those theories into real business strategies with a focus on earnings, market share, and brand improvement. A powerful format that is a blend of the World Economic Forum, the Clinton Initiative, and TED Talk. Hosted by best-selling author and world-recognized management consultant Jim White, Ph.D. Along with many specialized business authorities, you will explore strategies for a complex world. The much-anticipated JLW CEO Summit, Strategies for a Complex Business World, will be held in the beautiful Hayes Mansion in San Jose, California, September 25th and 26th. Visit us online at jlwceosummit.com.
Okay, we're back. Thank you, Dave. What I want to do now is to talk about once you are selected from an invitation-only event, JLW CEO Summit, there'll be some due diligence that's involved. And this is another unique component of the summit, okay? Another unique component. We're going to determine the 3 most vital issues that you're facing in your business today. 3 vital areas. And this is always challenging for most CEOs to be able to, what I call, dig into that barrel and to be able to come out with 3 of the most vital things, because you know what? You've got stuff coming at you right and left. You're not short of stuff. But the opportunity is to say, here are the 3 most vital things. If I can make these things go away, develop a strategy behind it. And once again, what are we doing? We're looking for strategies to grow earnings, to improve brand. And while we're doing this, walking our value base very strongly, and also to make sure that we are conscious of our environmental impact, if you will. All of these things go hand in hand. I'm reminded of a story, just a little sidebar here, and one of my, I don't use the word I don't use very often, heroes is Fred Smith. Fred Smith, as you probably know, is the founder of Federal Express, and he founded Federal Express and borrowed money in 1971. And Fred's gone on to build that company with about $46 billion in revenue. Now, it's interesting, Fred's keys is reputation, never cut in a corner, even though the customer can't see what you're doing, to add to the bottom line, always to improve customer service. You probably remember some time back where this driver was caught on camera where he threw this package over the fence, right? And ran. Well, I tell you what, I don't know what he was thinking, because you can't hide from anything today. But what did Fred Smith do? He used that as a teaching opportunity. And this is what we must do as leaders. The value that you hold and you teach, and it's not a sometime thing. You must be able to take a bad situation. If it comes at you, look it square in the face, own it. Do not try to deny it. It is those elements that's going to do two things for you. It's your reputation, which affects your brand. A lot of people use brand management where you should be talking about reputation. The reputation is what you do and what you stand for, which is going to influence your brand, right? It's going to influence your brand at huge dividends. So some of the things that we're looking at as we are selecting these companies, these vital areas that we're going to be able to bring a whole different twist to it. And then we're also going to do what we call a financial health check. This financial health check is to determine where you are. So we can give you a roadmap to say, hey, heads up, if you don't make a course correction, you're going to be bankrupt in 2 years. We have that predictive capability, which we will do. Now, the great thing about the Circle of Success show with Dr. Jim White, KYMB TV, is it's all about education and inspiring, and that's what we're here to do every Monday from 1 to 2. And you've got to, I just want you to drill down on the message, and that's our commitment to you, and we're going to continue to do that. So as we perform our due diligence, and all of this is completed prior to each participant, which will arrive on September the 24th at 5 p.m. at the beautiful Hayes Mansion in San Jose, California, which kicks off the summit with the reception. And then on the 25th, these are the things that we'll start doing. Once the pre-summit due diligence is completed, I've said that, I'm going to summarize, we will custom a solution for each organization at the 2-day summit. Yep. We're going to take real issues, and through our talent, we're going to give you different strategies, to introduce different strategies for you that will be able to turn these 3 issues into strengths. Now, this will be the launch of the 1-year CEO journey. Now, we oftentimes talk about it's a 2-day summit. No, it's not. This is a 1-year journey. And part of that journey, it starts with the 2-day offsite, right? And as I said, at 5 p.m. on the 24th, and then we'll adjourn at 6 p.m. on the 26th. That's how specific it is. Now, this is what you go away with. And I know through a lot of the emails that I've received from majority of you, you're saying, well, what's our takeaway? Is this just another warm, fuzzy thing where we get together and tell everybody how great they are? No, it's not. It is the real deal to be able to do what? I want you to be able, as middle market companies, to say if you're at 50 million and you want to go to 100 million, we're going to give you the roadmap and help you go there. If you're 100, you want to go to 200, go there. And so on and so forth, and go there. And at the same time, so we can measure your progress and be able to, the overused political word, creating jobs, not just in the United States, globally. We can be a solution globally, not just in the United States, even though we do have 12.5 million people unemployed, which we need to address and will be part of our solutions at this summit. Now, the action plans that you will leave with, real action plans, will be plans to address the 3 vital issues, right? We talked about that. And also an action plan to focus on improving your revenue, earnings, cash flow, and equity based on the financial health check that we did prior to your arriving. Now, let's take a look at what next. Follow-up and accountability is key to anything that you do. Change and making change stick is a real opportunity, which is another show. As I say, accountability is the key to achieving the goals and creating personal and professional success. You probably heard that 1,000 different times in 1,000 different ways. But the key is to connect with it, believe it, and know that this is some of the keys. There is no magic. There is no cutting in front of the line, if you will. Stuff that you got to do, roll up your sleeves. And that's what we're going to do with you at the summit, and that's what we're going to continue to do through the shows, give you tools to help you that. We want to give you tools each and every Monday that you can go put in place today to make a difference in your business and your personal life. Now, the follow-up will be this. We're going to conduct monthly webinars. We're going to provide a members-only blog where you'll get update information from all our faculty and speakers. Okay? Each participant will have email access to the summit faculty, no screening, straight to them. Okay? Each participant will, and this is unique to these type of events, 1 year later, at the second annual JLW CEO Summit, which was mid-September 2013, you will come together as an alumni for 1 day prior to the next summit. That's your opportunity to come together and to be able to measure your success, and you'll also have an opportunity to be part of the second annual summit by sharing your stories. What worked? And like I said, the objective here is to hone our mission and to make sure that we are given real tools that we can measure. That's important. And by us doing that, it's really going to make a difference in this middle market, because I believe there is such a gap from the Fortune 500s and everybody making all the cash and the mid-market, and we're going to level the playing field a little bit, and this is how we're going to do that. Now, this is what makes this thing work. I think you get by now that this summit's one of a kind. We're going to bring the top world experts to the mid-market companies. Now, this is where you really need to hone in on what I'm saying. In short, we're going to partner with senior level government officials, academic professors. I have believed for years that we have all this wonderful talent sitting in our top universities and educational system that has an opportunity to do research and on cutting edge technologies and strategies that never see the day of light in the private sector unless you are a general electorate. And I love general electorate, or one of the top 500. You've got to be in the know. You got to have a lot of money to have access to this information. Well, we're going to change that. We're going to bring this type of talent to you, the mid-market companies, through our summit. So, and we're going to have the private sector leaders, a lot of my senior consultants as well will be on site. We're going to be assigned to tables. I'm really getting into the granular and to the technical aspect of this summit at this time, right? And that's what we need. That's what I believe in. And for you to know me, you know that to be the case. Now, let's take a look. As I've said, these resources that we're bringing to the table are not typically available to mid-market companies. But fortunately, I've been blessed, and I'm humbled by that, and it has nothing to do with my ego, that I have a lot of friends and connections that are the top thinkers of the world that has agreed to be part of the summit, and I am so excited. For example, my co-organizer is Dr. Ted Lewis. Ted is a professor at the Naval Postgraduate School, and he's been on the show many times. He is the director of the Center for Defense and Homeland Security. He is also the best-selling author of a book called Box Sandpile. Ted is all about predictive complexity, innovation, different ways, and Ted's going to be presenting different strategies that's in support of your three vital few that you never thought about before. The next faculty member that has agreed to be part of the summit is Dr. Rodrigo Nito Gomez. And Rodrigo and Ted were on the show recently, and Rodrigo is going to be presenting a concept called X Prize and on innovation and how to use the X Prize concept to help you with your R&D and other cutting-edge products and services as well. So Rodrigo has agreed to be, and these are confirmed speakers, okay? Now, Dr. Masad Amin, we had him on the show recently, and I mean, what a talent he is. He's confirmed as well, and we're going to he's going to talk about the electrical grid. He's going to talk about leadership, all of the different tools, and once again, things that typically not available to the mid-market companies. Okay. Then we have two confirmed keynote speakers, and one is Kip Hawley. Kip was one of the original TSA administrators after 9/11. He was selected as part of the GO team when President Bush said, "Hey, we got to make a quick change." So Kip has agreed to be a keynote speaker, come and share different tools and tactical approaches to setting up complex organizations and lessons learned from 9/11 and the TSA. And we know that if you follow the news, TSA is always in the news of these days. But nonetheless, he will share what it's like, the complexity in setting up these complex organizations. Then, last but not least, and these are, boy, I see, got to get a better photo there of Bajan Khan. What an interesting man he is. He is Iranian, and he was appointed by President Bush as well for the XM Bank as a director. He's going to be on site and speaking and part of a panel as well. He's going to be talking about global finance, major opportunities, and how you secure major funds for expansion into international projects, right? So that is the layout of the CEO Summit. Well, I am the event founder and organizer, so I'm obviously biased, right? I think it's one of the best approaches. And as we move forward in the days and weeks to come, we would like your feedback and assistance. And for those folks that believe that you qualify, go to the website, jlwceosummit.com, and just send us an email, and we'll start interviewing. We'll start getting the process. But it's something that we are really excited about. So I hope this answers your questions. And like I said, I realize that some of these very left-brained information here didn't put you to sleep, but you asked for it, so that's what we do on the show, is to try to respond to what our audience wants. So hopefully this helps answer what the summit's all about. So we've got to get in another break, and we'll be right back after this.
This segment is brought to you by Circle of Success, a dynamic, year-long intensive management and leadership development process designed to help individuals and organizations reach their goals quickly. A customized process addressing specific needs and identifying the critical opportunities particular to the individual and organization, with results measured in increased revenue, increased net profits, and increased equity. The Circle of Success, inspiring excellence in people. At jlwhiteinternational.com/circles.
We're back with Ms. Susan. As I was reviewing the summit and Project 17 International, is certainly going to play a big part of that. That's the first time you've seen the detail of it, right?
Right. Right. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
It looks like a great lineup.
Yeah.
Nice faculty.
Yeah.
Ted Lewis is an old friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's been on the advisory board of our incubator for
a lot of years.
7 or 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah. What we wanted to do is, as I said, to be able to bring that level of expertise to companies that would never have access.
And I think that's a great idea.
Do that.
Yeah, I'm even thinking of some of our companies in this region that do agriculture.
Yeah.
They're right in there. They need help with security and things too. So.
Yeah, part of that cybersecurity, internet security, terrorism. All those
food security is a real big thing.
Food security, the internet, leadership, available funding. It's a big issue for a lot of these mid-sized companies.
Available funding.
Available funding
for growth.
For growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some great tools, and for some of our private equity and different banks, we will have banks. Some of my clients that will be available, and to be able to talk to these companies.
Yeah,
and
it's a great opportunity for these companies, and it's very exciting, and can be right in the heart of Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Our goal is to then take it worldwide. Mm-hmm. Take it worldwide. What I want to do is bring you back on let's talk a little bit more about the business plan competition. Okay. I feel like I'm talking about it all the time, but I don't think we can talk about it too much.
Thanks.
Right. 2013. There will be one in 2013.
Sure.
Right? Okay.
Of course.
Just want to make sure.
Oh yeah. It's one of the most fun things that we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can we do after we do business plan competition, then to make sure that we turn it into a reality?
Yeah,
I know that's something that we're working on in Project 17
and you and I have spoken a little bit about this, and there are a lot of business plan competitions across the nation and the world. But what happens to the companies once the competition's over? Okay, we give the boys the check. They have great services from a lot of different people, but is anybody coordinating that process, as Alan says, from bumper to bumper?
Mm-hmm.
Who's coordinating to look over that company and make sure that they that they're successful? And incubator directors and managers try to do a lot of that. But I think that we're able to give that circle of success gift as a prize to Yoderm, Acne Visit / Yoderm, and that I think is going to create wonderful success for them. I think it's exactly what business plan competitions need across the nation. So I'm real excited about that, because we'll be able to showcase what can happen and how quickly it can happen.
And I think that's so critical, especially showing the unemployment.
Yeah.
And to take some of these great minds, and I cannot help but to reflect. I saw a piece last night on the, I think, CSUMB graduating class, and the amount of graduates that can get a job.
Yeah.
So there's something wrong with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we got out of college, well, of course I was old. You were, I don't remember, but you were working from the time you got out of kindergarten.
I was older than dirt.
So yeah, I mean, but in the early '60s, you either went into the Navy or you got a job, or or maybe you went to college. But then in the '70s, '80s, we became more college oriented. So people go to college, and then people were able to get a job, a good job with a 4-year degree, and that has fallen off of the cliff right now.
Yeah.
So we need to create more opportunity in the marketplace.
And part of that opportunity, and I know I will get a lot of emails from laying out the CEO Summit. I know a lot of my wonderful viewers say, man, that you just kind of put it in my face and selling too hard, right? Well, that's not the intent, but if that's the way you take it, so be it. I mean, it's okay too. But the key is to really work with mid-market companies that help them to increase their revenue, their equity. Why? To be able to give opportunities to other people. End of the day, we can say all the slicey, dicey stuff we want, but that's the thing that we're doing there.
Well, I'm wondering, when you talk about an American company, how are you defining that?
Well, I'm talking about, it's kind of generic right now. You know, when I mentioned the American company as far as doing business in China, I just threw that up there because I hear it all the time from my clients. Oh, American company cannot compete in China. That's all.
So we are talking about a mid-market company because Apple competes just fine.
Yeah.
So we're not that, you know, so we are talking about the people who really do business in America. They keep their revenues in America. They hire Americans. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, for this that's what we're talking about. But is also laid out, it is a global economy. And you've got, as a leader, you cannot close your eyes to the border.
No, the market's out there.
The market's out there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of these companies, you know, Apples and the GEs and the others that do a lot of outsourcing, and there's a lot of, and a lot of this is for tax purposes, right? Which is another show, right? But what we're saying here, we want to make sure that we can bring some of this wonderful talent from this faculty into these mid-market companies and give them different a thought process, a more critical thinking process, and said, oh, if I can develop a strategy, well, it's not going to cost me everything that I have, so it's just tweaking here to get more, to get more earnings, so disposable cash, so you can invest. And there's a certain amount of return to the shareholders as well, but that's what we're looking at.
And one of the things that I notice in our business incubator that I think your CEOs will experience through this is kind of the community of other CEOs and being able to bounce things off of your peers and being able to learn and get answers from your peers. Yeah. I think that's much more valuable than people ever think about. Because they're all very bright people. Oh, so let's learn from one another.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Well, thank you for having us on.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
You just like my boys.
I know. I do. I do enjoy your boys.
They're men.
I know. We shouldn't.
I know. I shouldn't have said boys.
And please take no offense, Ryan. And we just
that anybody under 50 is a boy to us.
It is. So we'll be talking about the summit more. As you progress on the business planning competition, we'll talk about that more.
Great.
We've got...
I think it'll be May 3rd next year.
Okay. And we also have, I know you've been working with Congressman Farr's staff about having him on the show to talk about job creation and what's going on in the Monterey Peninsula. So we're looking forward to that.
Yep, that'll be fun.
And we're also going to have Mayor Dennis Donahue, and we're going to start doing a series on gang intervention and different things we've been doing in the city of Salinas. So we got a lot of great stuff coming up.
Yep, Dennis is great. Sam's great. Some of my favorite people.
Yeah, and some of the great leaders on the Monterey Peninsula.
They really are.
Yeah, they are. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it for this week. We'll be back actually next Monday. We're going to take a holiday, and we'll be back live on June 4th. So until then, make it a great week and have a safe Memorial Day weekend next week. And until then.
This has been Jim White's Circle of Success. Please visit our website, jlwcos.tv. Join us next time as Jim White brings it all together on Jim White's Circle of Success.